Okay. All right, so I think we are good to go. Okay, so the update is you guys are ending your.
Sorry, I can't hear you,
Hello,
sir.
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, I said the update I'm receiving now is you guys are ending your session tomorrow probably. So we're just going to try and wrap up everything today. You were in our last class now, right?
Yes, you said the update you have is that we do what tomorrow?
Like your coding session is the data storytelling listen track is soon going to end. Or let's say this particular topic is going to end in 2 weeks, right?
Sorry, sir. I don't know if you can speak a bit louder. I want to actually get the gist. You said you had an update that tomorrow we are ending our coding session.
Um, I'm just saying, when are you supposed to end like your session, this
You
particular
told us that
track?
we'll have your class today and on Thursday.
Uh,
Is there
okay.
any information different from what you told us?
Um, I'm not certain right now. I think we'll get back to you on that.
Okay, because that's what you told us in the last class that we'll
Hello,
meet.
Mr. Olariwaju.
Good day, ma.
Good evening. What he's trying to ask is if the stage E course, that's data curation for storytelling, is ending tomorrow.
No. We had an issue with our onboarding to the stage. It's actually started on a Sunday instead of Wednesday. So it will end on Sunday. That's Saturday night, if I'm correct. I check. Let me check and be precise. Please just a second. Let me open this Slack message. Sent to us. Because when others started their whatever on the on the Wednesday, which was
Okay.
supposed to be 22nd, we couldn't. So they had to create, it took them some days. So let me read out the message sent to us actually
So
when
let me read out the message.
that was on the 20, that was last week, that's not past Sunday. This should be um that should be 25th. So I'm almost there now on the channel. Okay, 25th November. The message is sent to us. Should I read it up?
I think looking
Hello?
at it,
Yes. We're told that we encountered technical issues with stage G course, but we believe they'll be resolved. You should have received a new invitation. That's the third time to join the new course. Please accept it and begin your course on November 26th. So start on November 26th, and they said the course will run till December 9th.
All right.
okay.
Yeah, so it will run till this Saturday. I thought that was what you had as permission that I made you to tell us that we have a session today and
No,
then on
that's okay.
Thursday.
We're just confirming.
All right, man.
Yeah.
I guess it's time to
Okay.
message.
Sent to Messi. Okay.
All right.
All right. I can see Amy on the call. Amy, welcome.
Thank you.
Um, as Messi left, Messi, you've not made me host. I'm yet to can't share my screen. Mm,
As I practice it too, I don't want this guy to do this. Are you here? Are you hearing it? Are you hearing it? When this guy just face speaker, is it speaker? Just speaker.
mm, Okay. Okay, let's just not spend too much time so that by Thursday we can wrap everything up. We all know where we left. Did anyone attempt to extract the remaining stuffs? Did any of you attempt extracting the remaining items? Can anyone still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, so I was asking if you were able to extract the remaining parameters we needed from those websites.
No, sir, I've not attempted it, sir. For me.
Amy, I don't know if she can hear us or she's in a noisy place. Okay. I wouldn't want to spend too much time. Okay, the next thing we we all know what we are trying to do here. We are still under the web scraping and we are almost done. Okay, we've been able to extract um we've been able to extract 4 of the features so far. It's remaining 4 more. Okay. These are what we've been able to extract so far. And the ones that are remaining the is the price employee range.
I don't know if the silence is from my end here or from our lecturer's end.
Under a tag called span. They're under a tag called span. So we decided to find and it being in a list means that if we were to access one of them, we'll need to index it. Okay. So if we were to access these items there, we'll need to index it one after the other. So that was what we did here now. So we are like, which is the price range? We use index 0. That's after finding our span. Then dot text would pull this out for us. Okay. Then since it's also a list, and this is the second item after this comma, to access this employee range, we use index 1. Okay. And dot text, and we're able to access it. Okay. So what we are doing so far is just for one of the company. So it means that for us to get all this stuff for all other companies, we'll need to do a for loop as usual. We need to do a for loop. So while doing the for loop, I'll just explain what we are trying to do again. So let's go back to where we used to do our for loop. There it is. So already we are going to create one list and a particular list. Okay, we already created it. Okay, yes, we already created it in the last class. Here it is. It's called PEYL. We actually got this name from this price, employee range, and location. So for this list now here, what we have in it, which is what we are seeing here, is actually this span, this information here, this one here on the right-hand side, but for all the companies. That's what we have inside this list. So this first one here is for the first company. Okay, the second one is for the second company. So having pulled out all the span for each of the company and they're all in a list, the next thing we want to do here is extract the price, the employee, the year, the location for each of them respectively. So that's the next thing we are going to be doing. So please, let's pay detailed attention because it's a tricky one. Why I say it's a tricky one is because this is like a nested list. It's one big list with smaller list inside, small list inside. The small list, like I'm talking about, is the one I just highlighted. This is just a small list. This is another list, okay? And they are inside one big list. You can see this bracket on the outside. So we are going to be looping through this stuff. And for each of the loop, we are going to extract those items. Okay, so it means for me to work with the first company here, I will do something, I'm not doing a for loop yet, but for me to access this first company, I'll index 0 like this. This would give me the first company. So if I now want to go further and extract the price, the employee, I'll have to still index it again because it is still inside a list, meaning that if I do something like 0, I should be getting the price, which you can see. If I do 1, I should be getting the employee range. So it means while we are looping, this first indexing would be for the company, while the second one would be to extract for each company the price and the employee year and location. Okay. So let's see how we can achieve that with a for loop. Okay. So for I in profile, let me do this. For I in profile means for this, for one of these in the profile. Okay. In profile, sorry, not in profile. It should be in the PYAL. For I, that's for so if I is the one I just highlighted, index 0 is actually the first price. Do we understand? Hello.
Please, can you come again with the index sign? Please, can you go over the index again, sir?
So for each item in PEYL means for each of the list, one of them is just what I highlighted. This is one, this is I. This is another I. This is what I is representing. It's just representing the sub list inside it. Do you understand?
I can please, sir.
Now, if I is representing like a list inside this big list, which is PEYL, it means that to get the price, it is I with subset 0, with index 0. Index 0 now means if I is this list, I index 0 means the first price. So this index 0 will be able to get to the first one. Then it also means that the employee range, okay, is going to be employee.append I index 1. Again, if I, because I is actually a list in this big list. So I index 0 is going to get to the first item in that list, which is the price. While I index 1 will get to the employee range. Now it's not just the whole span, we want only the text. That's why we are going to do dot text here. And we're going to do dot text here. The third one is the year. So what we want to append to the year is year dot append. This is I, not 1. I, okay, is I index 2. Okay, dot text. This will extract this 2000 from me for each of the items. Then the last one is the location dot append. What are we appending? I with the last index. You can use a -1 for that, or you can just say 4. Let's use a -1. But we want the text dot text. So I have a feeling that we are going to have an error because along the line, some companies do not have, let's say, price range or location. So in order for us to avoid that, and which we also how we did before, we have to create an if statement like we did for review. So we'll have something like this, similar like this. So we are saying if,
Hello, can you hear
again,
me,
we
sir?
are, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you, sir. What you said now, the last class I was trying to do something, or maybe it's our first class, that when we had our stage B. Was it stage B now? That we did something like this in West Coast that by the time I extracted my data from the site I used, it came clean and I didn't have any option. I don't know if you remember it, because issues like this that you're trying to resolve crash the codes unless I dealt with them from the source. So, like maybe having some empty, where would there be an empty column in the data set? Even the code never allowed, because by the time it will run, it will crash. So I will have to deal with it. Maybe I don't know if you get my point, sir.
I don't know. No, I don't follow. Like, what is your question exactly now?
No, I'm only making reference to
Okay, okay, okay,
this. I
okay,
was trying to
okay.
explain the other thing.
Okay, so you are
Like you
like
said that this one,
usually
what
encounter
some are
error
going to have
and
country in it.
yes. So in yeah. No, the thing is you are bound to encounter those kind of errors for the very first time you start working with it. So it's only when you encounter those kind of errors that you need to trace what is the issue, why is it throwing an error. So why I know is because I also showed you on the website in our last class that I showed you where some companies do not have those information. So in those scenarios, you need to have something that can
Yes,
handle
but it
that.
will this at this point, sir. Am I correct, sir? Or is that way you want to do with that?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. We handle it in our last class for review rating. Some companies did not have review. So we brought an if statement. We are saying, okay, if the review
Okay,
exists, split it. If it does not exist, just replace it with a none. That's exactly what we want to do here. So we want to say
okay.
if I exist and we have I index 0, okay, dot text exists, then pull this out, okay. So if it doesn't exist, just replace this stuff with none. So we are going to have something like this. So if it doesn't exist, it's just going to replace it with a none. So we use np.none here. So this is a condition that would handle if there is anyone missing. I'll explain it again. So here we are saying if I exist on a norm, so you know that I will exist because this is a length of, if you look at the length of this list, it's going to tell us there are 49 in number, which is correct. But it doesn't mean that for that 49 that all of them has maybe each of these details. So we are saying, okay, if I exist, which it does, and when you index the I, there is a text, do this appending, which I just finished explaining. But if we check I and I.0.text does not exist, maybe it throws an error and it does not exist, come and append none. It means that stuff does not exist. Append none to it. That's what this if condition is doing here. So it means if I run this cell now and I click on, let me print out the price. This is what we are going to have. Are you seeing it? This is the price. If I should change it to employee range, EMP, these are all the employee range for all the companies. That's extracted them. If I change it to location, these are all the location we have. Then lastly, if I change it to, the other one was year founded, you see that these are all the years in those companies. Do we understand? Hello, do we understand this point?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to look at it, sir. Is it the S statement
Okay.
you're talking about, sir?
Now, I'm asking if you understood what just happened here, because I have successfully extracted, okay, the employee range, the price range, the year, and the location for all the companies. So let me just go through it again.
Okay.
Let me just go through it again. First of all, we know that to find diff with a class of firm services, it will get us to this point where the price range, the employee range, look at it here. The year founded is here and the location is here. So this Finding this will get us to this place. So we saved this stuff here to firm profile 2. Look at it here. That was the first thing we did. So having got to this point, we know that this is for all the companies. You can see, look at another div. After this comma here, this is one company. So after this comma is another company. Look at its price range, its location. So since it's having all this stuff, we loop through it. This is where we loop through that profile too. What we did, okay, after looping through is this place where we find all the span. So in that firm services down here, if you go ahead and find all the span, you would have all this in a list for one company. So we did a for loop and find for all the company, and we appended it to PEYL. That was why when I printed out PEYL initially, we had this. So these are all the location, price, and employee for each company. The one I highlighted now is for the first company. This one now is for the second company. This is for the third company, and so on for all of them. That is what is inside here. So we are not like, okay, fine, we've been able to get to this point, but this is not what we want. We want a list of the price, a list of the employee range. We created empty lists for all those information for the 4 of them. Already I showed you when it was just one, how to access these elements. If this is finding one, that means this is a list. To access the first one, you need to index it. And that was what we did here. After the span, we have the index.text. Index 0.text would give you this price. Price is the first index. Index 1.text will give you the employee range. And so on till index 4. So since this works for just one company, that was what we came here and do a for loop to do for all. For I in PEYL means for one of these lists I just highlighted in this long list, because this is the beginning of the list, while inside it is a small list. So for each of the small lists in this big list, when I mean small list, I mean this is just one. For each of it, so I now is representing this one small list. So for each of these small lists, which is I now, if I exists, which it does, and if you try subsetting I index 0, maybe the price, okay, and it brings out a value. That means there is something, it exists. That means something exists. So pull it out. But if maybe while you're trying to bring it out, it doesn't work, append missing value to it. So when we run that, and that was me checking the price, let's look at the length of price, because I feel there is something wrong. Price is
Sir, can I ask a
49.
question, sir?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, sir. I thank you, sir, for explaining. I got the if and else block that we
Yeah.
embedded in the for loop. But my question
Okay.
is, if it happens that is what would the state here statement is if the condition of if is not satisfied. But what happens? Maybe out of the 4 parameters we're trying to extract, only one happens to missing. Would the 3 be run and that only that one will be given now? Or does this work
If
for does this condition work for when all are absent?
no. Okay, I get your point. I think I get your point. What we are doing here is not peculiar to if it's checking all of them. It's checking price, it's checking employees, checking year, it's checking log. So it's checking all of them. Okay. So if the price, all of them exist, fine, it will work. If it goes to employee and only one is missing, it will replace. So it's not peculiar to one. It checks all of them. And if at the end of it all, it's just one that is missing, it is just that one that it's replaced with a missing value. Do you understand? So I think also the best way to, I think we should just go ahead and put it in a data frame so that we can see if there was indeed a missing value. So we have price, employee, year, and location. What we want to do now is adding it to the data frame we already have here. We have 4 here already. So let's add the remaining one. So we say data frame. First one is And we want to work with our outline. So the next one here is the price. So we say firm price, okay, equals to the price. Then we have the next one there is the firm employee range. Okay, let me use employee. Okay, is equals to the employee. Then we have the data firms. The next one there is the year location. So we say year founded. Yeah, let me use year founded. Okay, equals to year. Then we have the last one, firm location. Okay, so it's equals to the log. So I've added the remaining four. Let me run this now. Have you seen? So I don't think there is any missing value here, but that condition will actually be helpful when if you should try working with the. Okay, see, there's a missing value here. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing that there is at least one missing value in the price? That means one of the company did not have price. Are you seeing it? And also, why we also have that condition is because look at another missing value here. So some companies do not have price range. So it was able to handle for that. Do you understand?
Yes, I do, sir. I get it.
So that's it. Okay. I mean, we've done for one company, one page, and we've successfully extract all this information we want. Okay. So what I would love for us to do, I mean, in as much as I would want us to scrape the second page, I'll probably just leave that for you to experiment on. What I'll go into next, okay, is how to clean up this data a bit and just, if possible, analyze it. Okay. Then tomorrow we can just brush up everything and see how we can summarize the whole
I
project.
said
I said
tomorrow,
tomorrow on Thursday.
sir.
Thursday, sorry.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So we've successfully pulled out all those information we wanted from that website. And if you were with us from the beginning of the class, you know that it was not an easy journey. But yes, we've arrived here, and this is our own data. It's not something we went and picked on Kaggle. We were able to extract it, and you've literally done the work of an engineer in a way. But yes, this is data extraction part,
I
and
was
we've pulled out.
confused. I know that they call this thing data engineering kind of thing. I was now wondering, I mean,
Yeah, it's a little bit of data engineering. Okay, so first thing first, we need to clean up and tidy up some things here. Okay, we need to do some data cleaning, and that's what we are going to be doing. Okay, so I mean, like I said, it has not been an easy journey, but we are making progress. So let me just make space here. We've gotten to this point. So let me just shorten this to .head. How do we clean this? The next thing you want to look at now is data cleaning. Let's check the data type first thing first. So our data is data frames. Oh, this is a code cell. Okay. But data types, they are all objects, which is not supposed to be. Most especially for our what is it called? For our review column. This column is supposed to be an integer, sorry, a float. The review rating is supposed to be a float. So we're going to work on that and change it to a float. Year founded, and we're not going to do addition, but yeah, we may as well just leave it as a text, or we just leave it as a number. Aside from that, we can extract from this review count the count itself. We have 11 reviews, 19 reviews, 9 reviews, 12 reviews.
About
We
the
can
year
extract the count of the reviews from this. Then another thing we can do is,
sir, I'm sorry, sir. What
yes,
did you say about the year, sir?
I say it's an object. We can leave it like that. It's not that we're going to do calculations on it. So we can as well
Okay.
just
Not
leave
that
it as
we
an
change it
object.
to date object or something.
It's not in the date format, it's just a year. So we'll just leave it as it is.
Okay. So we don't need to be numerical.
Yes. So what we're basically just going to do now is first thing first, change the review rating to a this thing to
So would we need to change year to be date object? Because I've seen that there's a need to, when doing data cleaning, change year to date object of the year format. Under what condition would we need to do that for year? Because I know it's not as if we are adding it up incrementally, but it's still a number.
yes, we can't turn this to a date because it is just the year and you don't even
But
need
are
to
there
do that because
instances where it has to be done, sir?
if you try to turn it to a year, you are just maybe creating it from the scratch using the date library to create it. Yeah, you can use the date library to do that.
It has to be done.
But you sorry?
I'm asking, are there instances that year has to be changed to date object? But I think I saw something like that in our last stage.
It depends on the data. If the data has day, months, there you can join it up and make it a date. But here we can't do something like that because it wasn't provided on the website. So even if you go ahead and maybe formulate a date, you are giving a wrong information on that
So it's more
company,
or less
which
like
is
a categorical data actually.
yes.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. All right. So let's pull out this review count. Okay. We'll pull out this review count. So how are we going to do that? Here's how you are going to pull out the review count. So we know that our data frames, let's make a copy of it. Let's work with, for data cleaning, it's advisable you make a copy of the original data. So I'll do df underscore copy equals to our data frames dot copy so that the original one will remain. Okay. Now, how do we get to remove these numbers from the reviews? So first of all, let's get to the reviews. This is it. These are all the reviews. What we want to do is to extract the numbers from it, the numbers alone. Okay. So,
Place with a empty.
so if we use our lambda dot apply lambda, I hope you're all familiar with lambda. So lambda x, if we say x dot split, or let me do it for one so that you know why I'm using lambda. Okay, let me do it for one because I like breaking it down because I feel you may not understand the whole process at once. So this is what I'm trying to do. We know that this is what our review count looks like. And we know that if we do something like this, we can access the very first one. Okay, so if this is the first one and I want to split just one of it, again, I'm doing just for one, for the first one here. I want to show you how it's done here before I do it for all. So I subset only the first one. So if I do dot split, it is a string. So if I do dot split, by default, it splits it by space. So if I now then split, after splitting, if I use 0, this is a list after splitting. So with 0, I can access this. This is it now. So if I split this column by space, okay, and then access the first stuff after splitting it, I will get all the counts. That's what I'm about to do here. So dot apply lambda x. Lambda x is just representing each of this stuff here in this column or in this series. Then x dot split, then subset 0. And this will give us, we have a missing float object has no attributes split. Float object has no attributes split. Strange. Hold on, let me look at it again. We don't have any floats here, do we? Please hold on, let me see why it's throwing that error. It's not supposed to throw that kind of error. So we want to extract the reviews rating. There is no float here. Yeah, there is no float here. Let me see how I can tackle that. So trying that same error. Okay, let me do x dot string dot splits. String object has no attribute. Why is it behaving this way? Just give me a sec. I feel it's because of those missing values. Hmm, okay. This is strange. Just give me a sec.
All right, sir.
Why are you giving me an error? Okay, it's because of that nan. So we have to fix it. See what we are going to do. We are going to, are you with me? It's that nan, this is what is causing it. This is what is causing it. So here's what we are going to do.
Okay, sir.
So instead of filling it up with nan, we'll fill it up with zeros. So
Sir,
that it will
this
be
is
like
exactly what I
0.
was trying to tell you earlier, sir. That I said the data came clean out from the source with no missing value.
Okay. All right. So let's just fix that right now. So we are going to use, where are you? Yeah, we're going to use 0 here instead of nan. Okay. So this should work fine. Okay. I think that has sorted it out. So right now we have zeros instead of, yeah, we have zeros instead of nan. So if we have zeros now and we are trying to split, so this should work just fine now. Why? Okay, I've not run this one. Okay. What again? Int has
Maybe
no attributes.
an integer.
Okay. I know what. Sorry. It's my bad. My bad, my bad. It needs to be an integer, not a and it needs to be a string, not an integer. Sorry. So I've changed it to a string instead of an integer. Okay. So this should work fine now. All right. Here we have it. Yes. So what I did was to go back to our very beginning, the very onset where it was created. All I did was to change that np.nan that was here, and I append it with a string of 0. So if that reviews does not exist, I'm not replacing it with nan anymore. I'm replacing it with a 0, but as a string. Then we all know what is happening here, that I am trying to extract the counts, this count from this column, so that we can maybe do like a distribution or something like that. Do we understand?
Yes, sir.
So what we are going to do now, we need to put this back into the data set. So we are going to replace this column now with these values. That's what we want to do now. So if this is producing these values, it means that we can save it to our DF copy, okay? The reviews count column. Okay, so the reviews count column will be holding this information now. So it means if we do df copy.head, we will no more have, you see, it's now the count, it's no more this one. We are still in the process of cleaning the data so that we can analyze it. Do we understand to this point?
Yes, sir.
The next thing we are going to do is, they are all objects. We need to change the ones that are integers to integers, okay? And leave the rest. So the integer columns we have here, we'll call it int column. This and this. Okay. I think we should just leave the year as it is. Should we leave the year? Okay. Just give me a sec. Okay. You know what? Let's change the year to a numerical column too, just to be on the safe side. So we'll add the year here too. Year founded. Okay. So how do we turn this all to an integer? We'll just look through it and change it to integer. Okay. So for x in integer column, how do we change it? We would say df copy that column. X is representing each of those columns. We are going to be saving a new value to it, and that new value is us actually changing the data type. So for each of this column here, df copy is like df this, which is like selecting that column. So we are saying that column should now hold a new value, and that value is us changing the type to integer, like this. So for the first one, it is df copy review, change to integer, save it back to that column. Review count,
No,
change
sir.
it to integer.
Hello, sir.
Hello? Yeah, I can hear
Hello,
you.
sir.
I
Can you hear
can
me,
hear
sir?
you, go on. I
Okay,
can
sir.
hear you, go on.
Yes. Is it possible for us to maybe to simplify the length of the code? I'm just asking you, not that I know it. I know that when you people taught us earlier, it's if you want to make a column or any item integer, you put it at the front. So it's supposed to do int bracket before we now write.
That's for a single one. We are
Bring them together,
multitasking
question.
here. We are trying to do for all of them. This is how you change a data type for just one, but now we are doing it for 3 columns at once. That one you are saying is something different. That one is not part of this. It's like working on a single item only. Get this is how you change a column. The one you're
Okay.
referring to is changing a single value, maybe a single string to integer. Okay.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So let's run this. This should work. Does it throw an error? Yeah. It has an error, invalid literal. So we have 4.9. It can't change 4.9 to an integer. So I think the safe thing to do is to change it to a float. It's still throwing an error. Could not convert string to float. United States. So that reminds me that while we were extracting this stuff, see, under the year column, something came in, United States. Are you seeing this?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, it's not our fault. We actually did a for loop. It's not as if we would have actually manually see it because we can't be looking at it one after the other. But yeah, this is what came out after the extraction. So all we have to do now is to handle it. So we are going to change the method in which we want to change these columns to integers. We are going to change that method. So how we are going to do that is instead of doing this one, we are going to use the pandas way. So we'll say td dot to numeric. We're going to use this method. What are we changing to numeric? We are changing df copy these columns, each of them. Now this error, it has a part, it has errors. So these errors, we are going to set it to quest. So this quest is actually, if there is an error, it will just handle it. It just handle it by replacing it with zeros automatically. So it's actually going to handle this United States automatically for us. So we are changing each of these columns, okay, to numeric. Then if there is any error like this one we encounter, like you can't change, it's just going to change it to 0. That's what this stuff is doing here. So if I run this, it works just fine. If I should check my DF copy now without the head, let's see. So all the stuffs are now in integers. You can see that even the year is in numeric, is now in float. But that place that was stored in United States, have you seen? It's now 0. I think we have 2 of them. Here's another one, Kazakhstan. So it just replaces it with the missing value. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I get it, sir.
All right, cool. Now, I want to show you something too. We are still in the process of cleaning. So I want to look at this firm location. Okay. This firm location, you can see that one company exists in 2 different places. We have where one company exists in up to 3 places. Like this place, this guy exists in Lamborg, Luxembourg, and Poland. So like companies exist in more than 2 places. So, and if we want to maybe do analysis on this location, it will be difficult for us. So what we need to do, we need to split this stuff. So we'll have like this company for United States and another row with that same company, but for Germany. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. You mean that we should split the country, the location, frame location column?
Yes, we should. Or we, if maybe when we want to analyze, we just work with
Like the
it
first one, I said, the
as it
United
is.
States, Germany, right?
Yes. Okay. Right. So, how do we do that? We are actually going to explode. So first of all,
I'm
we're
sorry,
going
sir.
to
Is it the
do,
frame location column we are trying to handle now, sir?
yeah, we want to handle this frame location. One company exists in two places.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
So if maybe we want to count, for instance, you want to know all the, let's say, excluding the company's name, you want to know how many companies are in United States. You will need to work with this column, and we have to split it for you to be able to work with it. Do you understand?
Please, doesn't mean that we're going to split along row now, since we can't add the new column.
That's what we want to do. So you see how we're going to do it.
Okay, sir.
So DF copy firm location. So this will bring out the firm location. If we do, let's work with one first. So this is just one. So it means that if we do dot split here, it's going to split it like this. Okay. But it's not splitting it how we want. Are you saying that it's by default, it's split by
United
space?
entities.
It's split by space by default, but we need to tell it to split by commas because after one location is a comma.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we say split by comma. So this is what we have. So this is what we want to do. Okay. For all of them. After we've done that, we'll explode it. So what do I mean by that? I mean, we'll have to have a column that is called PF copy. Let's make a new location. New location. That's a new column equals
Like
to,
location, like second location. So.
yes, is equals to the first location, okay, dot apply lambda. So we have lambda x. So x is just representing each of the rows. So we are doing x dot splits, and we are splitting by commas like this. So this is what it's going to be. So if I come here and do df copy again, look at that new location. See, it's a list with these companies, but splitted by comma. It's now a list. Do you understand? It's now a list of those companies. Do you understand?
Now, that means it can make it easier for us to
We are
index.
not done. We are not done. I'm taking it one after the other.
Okay.
But do you understand that it's now a list
Yes,
of
sir.
those
So you can
companies?
reference it by indexing them.
All right. So now the next thing we are going to do, we are going to explode. I don't know if you are familiar with explode. So we'll still change the value of this, our new location, DF copy now. Our new location, we want to change the value. So let me show you what the value is going to be. The value is going to be holding new location dot explode like this. Are you saying what I am doing here is, let me look this side. You see this column here, this new location. I am exploding it, meaning that for index 0, it had United States and Germany. That's why you're saying index 0, United States, index 0, Germany. Index 1 had two countries, to United States and Canada. Index 1, United States, index 1, Canada. Do you understand? It's going to explode this list, making it stand on its own, a single row, maintaining the index. Do you
But sir, what
understand?
index is it referring to? Because if we are to refer to 0 and 1, United States should be 0, then Germany 1 per row.
I'm referring to this first row here is having index 0. Do you understand this one first?
Okay, the observation. Okay.
Then inside, do you understand that this is index 0 of this data
Yes, I
frame?
do, sir. I do.
And this index 0 has two countries, United States and Germany.
Yes, sir.
So after exploding it, making it stand on its own, it maintained that index. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So likewise, the second row is index 1. It has to compare United States and Canada. After I explode this is what explode. Explode is just going to make each stuff stand on its own, maintaining the index. So that's what we are seeing here.
Okay. And that's
So what we want to do now
already
is, yes,
in our data frame. Okay.
yes. What we want to do now is we want to save these values now back to our new location. So it's just going to increase the length of this stuff from 49 to, we'll see the count. So let's just save it. So we have DF copy in our new location. It will now hold these new values. What is it taking long? Okay. Sorry, I'm doing it the wrong way. But I've just shown you what it looks like for that single column. So the right way to do it is, right now, the issue now is the length. So I'm doing it the wrong way. See how to do it. I've just shown you what explode is going to do. Now to explode it, we are going to do df copy dot explode like this. What are we exploding? We are exploding the new location column. Do you understand? This is it. Do you understand?
I'm trying to look at this now. The new explosion.
Okay, so I'll explain that again.
Okay.
Hello, can you still hear me?
I can hear you, sir. I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm you know, this is our data frame. The copy is our data frame. I am exploding the new location column of this data frame. So what it means is, remember that small one, that small scenario where I showed you index 0 and the United States. Look at this United States. See this guy. It's United States and Germany.
Yes,
So
that's
after
original
explaining, we have
column.
United States of its own, you have Germany of its own. And these are
Okay.
both index 0 and 0.
Sir, would you not see this as duplicates?
No, it won't because they are in two different
Sir?
locations. It won't because of the location.
My I don't know. My concern now, it will affect our shape. Am I correct, sir?
All right. You know what? I think maybe when we want to analyze this state, to work on it differently because you actually have a point. So I wouldn't want us to maybe conflict. This location stuff, when we want to analyze it, we'll work on it differently.
All right.
So for now, we are just going to ignore everything about it. And okay. Okay, I think that's it. So we'll just leave it as it was. So this is what our data frame looks like. Start cleaning the integers. Okay, so we are back to the default one, our original data set. So from here, we are going to be analyzing it, but we are going to do that in our next class and then summarize everything. Okay, so this is where we are going to stop for today. Any question?
Okay.
In
Well,
our next class, we'll be analyzing it.
sir. No question per se.
Okay, I think we have one person on the call. Marvelous, are you with us? Any question from your end? Okay, so when we come on Thursday, we've already extracted data, we've cleaned it up. We are just going to see how we can analyze it a bit, and then we just summarize everything and then end the project. Okay? So I'll see you on Thursday in absence of no question.
May I request, sir? I don't know
Yeah,
if
me
you
too.
post the code on this chat box, sir.
Let me see if I can do that. To bring in a file.
Because we prefer if it comes like a Jupyter notebook, like a JPY.
That's why I usually send it across. Because here, but we have to download it quickly because I need to end this
Yes, please.
message.
As soon as you do it, we'll download it fast. If you can
Okay,
help
no,
join
I
the
can't.
previous
I
class, I
can't. I
appreciate, sir.
can't. I can't. I will send it across. I can't. The only options here are Google Drive and the rest. It's not
Okay,
giving me
but will
access
it
to
come as
it.
Jupyter notebook, sir?
Yes, that was how I sent the previous one.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Oh, you've not seen this previous one?
Yes, I saw it, but it seems like it was pasted. That's my.
Oh,
It didn't come as a note. Seems like it was posted. I saw it.
pasted. You should probably download it. All right, no problem. We'll get back to you on that.
Thanks so much, sir.